So many people making claims, but are they real? Are there aliens, or is it nothing? Wow.
It's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been a moment. Well, I'm back. Back again. Backstreet might not be back, but I'm back. Folks, it has been a minute. Philip Blair right with us. There you go. Ahem. Ahem. So we're gonna do a little movie review. I'm nothing if not inconsistent. So we'll do a movie review this time around. Why not? Jonaside, welcome to the live chat. Hey CW, hey Jonaside, hey to you. Gold medal onto you, Philip Blair. Silver medal onto you, Jonaside. Who's down here? There you go. Jonaside, gold medal for Twitch participation. Ahem. Oh, Coda's mom, bronze medal onto thee, Coda's mom. Greetings to Coda. And we're off to the races. Side effects may vary in more ways than one. A movie from 2024, a late era movie for your friend CW Chanter to be reviewing. You know, if you go to these, I saw this on Tubi, one of the many streaming services available. You know, Golden Coin 100. Golden Coin 100. Tim Frey. Truly a rogues gallery. Sometimes you want to go home. And the movie that we're going to review is one of those, I think we can say and ascertain, a friendly group of production. Golden Coin 100, bronze medal, a silver medal onto you for Twitch participation. Money Man 6789, a new face. What do you know? What, 42 people watching. Gee. Belen Mendoza. What the heck? All I needed to do was put bad movie review as a hashtag, apparently. Side effects may vary. Listen, I'm just going to get right off to it because I said 47 people watching and we immediately went down to 31. Deborah Morphin. I think that what am I doing? What did I do right and then what did I do wrong? Yikes. A fickle audience. Now I'm down to 25. I'm bleeding out here. Wow. Jeez. Holy moly. Jeez Louise. You know what I mean? No mercy. Click right on. Oh, it's not an actual, he's not right into the movie review? Down. Okay. Folks, when I do these movie reviews, now I'm panicking. I'm dying up here. Oh, God. I'm down to 12. I'm down. Kyle Bain, 9612. What am I doing? Now I'm back to 21. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Okay. Don't concentrate on the number. That's not. It's like I got to channel my inner Mr. Miyagi, right? Find your cool. The audience is not even there. Oh, wow. Now I'm down to 0. That worked. Da 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 da. Listen. Look here. Listen. Huh? Huh? Welcome. Side effects may vary from 2024. When I was a child, I had a Caught a fleeting glimpse. Okay, now I'm down to 9. Okay, you don't like Floyd. I get it. I get it. When I was a child, I had more viewers. Woo! Yikes. How come? Tough crap. Listen, when I was a child, you'd go to the local video store, and I remember they had a little section, a little bookcase like section called Cult Classics. And I remember one magical summer, me and my 2 or 3 greatest friends went down there. We made it our mission. We said this summer we are going to watch all of these movies. I don't know how far we got into them. I don't know how many we watched, but we watched many of them. But the reality was, it was somewhat of an achievable goal. It was like you'd have a CD rack at home. I mean, it was like what? It couldn't have been more than what you have 10 to a row, maybe 15, 10 onto a row, 4 or 5, I mean, you know what I mean? It had to have been like what, 100 videos, maybe 120 videos tops. But now you cut to today, the modern era with these streaming services. And you can see if you look up, to the degree that they allow you to search for particular years, or to the degree that you can get a kind of handle on it, you can see that in the realm of the tastefully untasteful, the Z grade, the B grade, the so bad it's good, Monsters from Mars, Incredible Melting People, Campers and Showers, Slashers on Parade. You can see in the 60s and the 70s, the 80s, there's movies there. But now, when everyone and their mother has access to a DV camera and can get, there's this almost direct pipeline from people's computer hard drives onto these streaming services, just like music. There's almost no bar for entry. So as the years go from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s and the early 2000s to the mid 2000s to the late 2000s, when you get to the late 2000s, if you wanted to try and watch all the movies from, say, like this year, 2024, I don't think you could do it. It's possible that you couldn't do it in your lifetime. So why review any movie from 2024 of this ilk? When Plan 9 from Outer Space came out, there were very few movies like Plan 9 from Outer Space, and it was an accident that people ended up making a movie like Plan 9 from Outer Space. But now, can you ironically make a so bad it's good movie? And when there are people who literally know that they love movies that are so terrible that they're good and kind of intentionally do it, what does it mean? It's not ironic, but still they are what they are. So to review the unreviewable, to pay attention to that which normally and under regular circumstances would only be paid attention to, nominally. You could understand someone reviewing a terrible movie from the 80s. You could understand someone reviewing a terrible movie from the mid 90s. But why review a terrible movie from 2024? Because that's how information gets out. So, if you were wondering what Side Effects may vary from 2024 is all about and whether it's worth your time, let me tell you. I'll start off by, obviously we see from the onset of viewers and then the quick runaway. Alien Disclosure 2026. Welcome to the proceedings. Bucky 4211. Welcome to the proceedings. We see for the people that immediately came in and then immediately left off. This is an audience in YouTube land that doesn't seem to have much patience or attention span. So the way we'll do it is I'll give you the too long to watch the snippet. It's not without its subtle charm. Much like, do you remember that episode of The Simpsons that featured that drink, the Flaming Homer? You remember when Homer first shared it with his friend Mo, the bartender? Mo sampled it and said, it's not without its subtle charm. And then Homer said, now watch what happens when I set it on fire. I think I could say the same for Side Effects May Vary. On its own, it's not without its subtle charm. I dare say my review might very well be more entertaining than the movie itself. And if you do watch it subsequent to my review, I think you will honestly be able to say to yourself, you know what? If I were to watch this movie by itself, I think I'd say, nah, I don't know. I'm going to chief out after 5-10 minutes. But I think if you watch it now, having seen my review, having witnessed my review, you're going to say, hey, look, I'm experiencing everything he said. And it's like he's in my head, like a director's commentary. It's like I'm part of a communal experience. I remember those people in the live chat. I wonder how many of them are going on now to Tubi to watch this kind of terrible movie and having the same sort of, parasocial experience. I wonder how many people are going to watch this movie review in the future and then go see this movie. I wonder if anyone involved in the making of this movie will see this review and what they will think about it. Will they get it? Will it hurt their feelings? I'm not intending to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm sure they're going to understand where I'm coming from. I'm sure they have no illusions or delusions about what's about to happen. Folks, this movie is interesting. Every movie like this is interesting for different reasons. I wouldn't do a movie review from a so bad it's bad movie from 2024 if there's like a lot of these movies that are like made by there's a company, like a production company called Uncorked Media that just like churns this stuff out. There's another one called I think it's called Full Moon Media or Full Moon Movies. Like I wouldn't do a movie review of that gingerbread guy that gets high or Evil Bong. I wouldn't do that because it's just pablum, because it's made by a company that's an established company that makes these movies like on purpose. It's a kind of a production line thing. Not that there's anything wrong with it, God bless them, but you could see them going, they're kind of like a pseudo trauma, cinema. They're like, they're just, they make their paychecks and they pay their taxes and they're going to do the same thing next year. They're going to have X number of productions that they do this year and X number of productions they're going to do the year after that. This movie was made by people that this was the movie they wanted to make. It's like one of the guys that wrote the movie is the star of the movie, right? And the executive producer has the same last name as is a female who has the same last name as the other dude who wrote the script, right? And I think one of the guys who's like one of the writers and maybe the guy who appears in as the leading man is also like the director. It's one of these things. It's like a family and friends production. It was made in Ohio. Okay. This was I watch people like on that thing like BookTube or BookTok, and the people talk about like the book of your dreams, like the book, the novel that you always wanted to write. This obviously is the movie that these people always wanted to make. And it took them a while to make it, because sometimes you see these productions and they're made by like 20 something year olds. And it's like, oh, this guy thinks he's going to be a director, right? He thinks he's going to quote unquote make it. These guys obviously took a lot of time to get, I guess, the capital together or to whatever. There's no one in this movie besides two little girls who appear at one time in the middle, like the set, like the third act, to be scared by the monster. There is no one in this movie that is like under the age of like, everyone in this movie is between the ages of 48 and 50. Okay. That's part of what makes this movie this movie. This movie is made by a group of friends, obviously, who like were in a film writing class together. And then they were like, we're all going to make this movie. And they do all the things that a horror movie does, you know, like the chick in the shower scene, right? The guy and the gal caught doing the wild thing, right? And I'm not judging because I'm 50. I'm going to be 51 this year. But you know what? As a guy who's 50 and 51, I'll tell you something. I've erased the tapes, right? All the evidence has been destroyed. Back in the day, when I wore a younger man's clothes, a younger man's birthday suit, hey, I may have done one or two things buck naked, but that was back in the day. These guys are feeling free to do things. Do you remember when you were? I remember you go to the 7-Eleven or Krausers and they'd have those adult magazines, you know, and there'd be those specialty magazines, you know, not just the Playboy and the Penthouse, but they'd have those like 30 plus and 40 plus and 50 plus magazines. You know, I guess if you're into the age thing, you're like really dialed in. It really matters, like the demographic. I guess I don't know. It was never my thing, really, particularly. But I would say, if you're into, if you're into those sort of magazines, or might imagine if you're around today, and bear with us. Jonaside is only like 22 years old. He doesn't remember. There used to be, before the internet, we used to have these things called adult magazines. It was pretty much like the internet, except the pictures didn't move. Unless you flip them like a flip book. Anyway, he's a kid. He's of age. We love Jonaside. He does things like that all the time. How does the clock work? We love the guy. Anyway, side effects may vary. So what I'm going to do is I have 22 little lines here that I wrote down while watching this movie. They're not notes per se. Let's go through them like a little ad hoc spoken word performance. Then I'll go back and we'll go through them each one by one and we'll unpack them. But like I said, the audience, I should have just led with this and then maybe people would have stuck around. I can't believe that we had that one point where we had like 43 people watching and they just kicked out. I have no idea. Hopefully that helps me in the algorithm. I should do more of these then, I guess. I have no idea. Anyway, I don't know why they didn't stick around. I should have taken my clothes off. But anyway, 22 lines from Side Effects May Vary, 2024. Okay. Also, this movie is about kind of the it's kind of like pandemic themed in the sense that it's about vaccines. But the funny thing is, it's like kind of about, it's like vaccine themed in a sense. But you know, I've seen movies that are like how would I describe it? Like buy MAGA for MAGA, like, or like, buy anti-vaxxers for anti-vaxxers that are like really take a stand. You can really smell the Kid Rock, coming off the screen. This is not that. It's more like they were like, oh, this is topical, or this is like a different way to introduce the theme of how this whole kind of zombie outbreak of one gets started. So it's like that. It's like don't get confused. Like we'll unpack it after I go through the 22 lines. Here we go. Digital tempeh. Green goo for the mattress man. Taking a jab at the movies. A classic example of the alt girl leading lady of gore in more ways than one. Medical propaganda at the movies. The shot goes in the back of your head. May 15th, 2023 at 7. Blood mask number 8. 9 concerns about the vaccine you gave me. You're never too old to stream your own sex tape as part of the horror movie of your dreams. Will horny old people on screen ever get old? Detachable penis body horror, comedy dildos, and red jelly for the loss. Ladies of the 80s in the shower scenes of today. Eldest daughter of zombie goo. No goth babe under 45 guaranteed. You have our word on it. Do you know the meaning of keep this under your hat? The long hair lounge jacket detective. He just exploded. A different guy. Alpha 21. A less than incredible melting man for the most part. In the end, everyone dies. Oh my God, they have approved Alpha 21 at 22. 22 lines. And you could tell from the amount of them that singled in on kind of ladies, that what distinguished this movie from most of its peers is the fact that, God bless them, and I really don't want to seem like ageist or sexist or lookist. I respect the women that appeared in this movie for having the guts, the bravado, and the bravery to portray, do roles that are normally under regular circumstances played by much younger women. Not that they should be. Again, referencing those magazines of back in the day, like the 40 plus or 50 plus, there's a market for this. I'll also say this. This movie doesn't seem to have been cast so much as it was made up of people that the guys that wrote this movie probably knew. Digital Tempeh. The production company is called Tempeh Digital. I just reversed the names to get a little line. It sounds like you're saying these girls don't look 25. No, they don't. And it's not like I'm saying that there's no girl or woman over 48 or 50 that can look amazingly attractive. There are plenty. These ladies they don't look like the most attractive waitress they look like regular people. God bless them. When you have that, when people, this is a cliche, you go to the nudist colony or you go to the nudist resort or the nudist beach and you discover that, oh, the thrill it's not that thrilling because it's not a strip club. It's just full of, you know what I mean? It's like if they had Naked Day at your workplace, right? It's just normal people. It's like that, this movie, which I guess is what makes this movie this movie. This movie is really not exceptional for anything other than the fact that it's unique in the fact that they didn't cast anyone under 48. I swear to you, in this movie, in any of the roles. The leading man, even the leading man, is the guy who wrote the movie. He looks like I don't know, like who like he's got one of these like he got the horseshoe balding guy. He's not a particularly attractive guy himself. God bless him. And when it comes to the sex scene, he drops trow with the his lady friend. I'm assuming they're together. I don't know. Anyway, green goo for the mattress man. Of course, the vaccine that the government is experimenting. We open with spoiler alert. This is going to be a spoiler laden movie review. I don't think it's going to ruin. I think it's good. Like I said, I think your enjoyment of this movie. I think the point of this movie review is you're going to hear my movie review and say, I got to see what this guy's talking about. And you'll see what this guy's talking about. It's going to be exactly what I tell you it is. Great. The vaccine that the government's experimenting on. Ooh, get it? It's a vaccine from the government. Oh, that causes all the shenanigans. Woohoo. But again, it's not like you get the impression that the people behind this movie are telling you that vaccines are bad. It's more like they're like, oh, we know it'll be a good hook for a horror movie. The vaccine is bad. It's going to turn you into a monster. Huh? It's like that. So they opened up, it's a government experimental lab that's like some sort of like, somebody's like garden shed or whatever. They give the first guy, oh no, they give him the thing, he explodes. Okay, there you go. They're like, oh, we gotta move on to Formula B, right? They gotta try it again. That's the opening. There we go. Classic example. Oh, taking a jab at the movie. So there you go. That's my thing. It's like, oh, it's gonna be about the jab. It's gonna be like that. A classic example of the alt girl leading lady of gore in more ways than one. Let's unpack that line. So, the latest trend, or one of the latest trends that I notice in these in these movies is, you ever go to these horror conventions? A lot of you do. And it's like, or it's like you'll see it on YouTube. The latest thing on YouTube is like real goths going crazy about these pseudo goth bimbos. You know what I mean? Like the Bella Baggins Freak-a-Lot, or the Nefertiti Queen being like, oh, like I work at McDonald's and I'm a goth girl, and welcome to McDonald's. Can I suck your dick? You know what I mean? Like, that's not a real goth wouldn't do that. A real goth wouldn't work at Dunkin' Donuts and be like, you want to powder my goth donut? Or whatever. Like all these like movies like these have like some like, I go to conventions and I'm so into horror movies. My body is covered with horror movie tattoos, and my hair is purple because I'm into horror movies, and I'm horror movie all the time. And here's my boyfriend, Clutch, and he's into horror movies all the time. He's got a tattoo of Freddy's hockey mask on the back of his thigh because he's into horror movies, and we're in this horror movie together, right? So they got the lady who's the lead, the ingenue of our horror movie, but she's as old as my mom, right? But she's got purple hair. God bless her. And she looks like the coolest greeter at Walmart. Okay. Here's the other problem. That trope in the movies where it's like the couple is like the cool couple that's like the leads in the movie. They have the nosy neighbor, like it's like Jack, Tripper, and the two hot girls in the Three's Company are like, oh man, and then here's the Ropers, and the Ropers don't get it, they're old. Or here's Mr. Furley, and Mr. Furley's horny, but he's an old guy, you know what I mean? It's so awkward because he's horny and old, or like here's the nosy neighbor, and the old nosy neighbor is old, right? You get that thing? But here's the problem. So they introduce the old neighbor who's supposed to be the old nosy neighbor, but the problem is she looks and appears to be the exact same age as our leading lady. In fact, I got to tell you something. For my money, I don't drink anymore, but if it was like between me and Jonaside, and we were like, okay, who's going to jump on the grenade? Genocide, no offense. You're fucking the leading lady, and I get to go home with the grandma, the person they're trying to tell me is grandma from next door. Because the lady just next door, who's supposed to be the old biddy, is by leaps and bounds more attractive than who they're saying is the leading lady. I'm telling you. So anyway, that's that. So you understand medical propaganda in the movies. So the leading lady has already gotten the vaccine, and her husband or boyfriend or whatever, the leading man, it's like, oh man, he's sick, but he's sick because he won't get the vaccine. And she's dying for him to get the vaccine. No pun intended. Oh, he's got to go. So she finally gets him to go to the doctor to get the vaccine. And they're like, oh, we got this new experimental vaccine. It's no side effects. You're going to love it. It's great. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm scared of needles. They're like, no, don't worry about it. And then they're like, oh, the shot goes in the back. So he's looking, he's in the doctor's office and he's looking around and all these, like, there's all these posters on the wall, like, get your vaccine today. And Uncle Sam says, get a vaccine and save America. And that's why it's medical propaganda at the movies. I don't know. Whatever, dude. You know what I mean? I'm fully vaccinated. I don't know, you know what I mean? Also, this movie was made in 2024. It came out in 2024. You could tell, but someone gets a voicemail, like a checks their cell phone. You could see the date on their cell phone. I believe it's their actual cell phone. There's no way that they like did some sort of like special effect. So the movie seems to have been in production in 2023. So it's like way to be topical, right? There's nothing more topical than the pandemic in 2023. Just saw the trailer. Why they use the Rosie the Riveter poster in the doctor's office. You're on point. Bucky 4020. Watch. Bucky's going to watch along with us at this point. Check this out. And the way that I stroll through my videos, he's going to be right along with us. So he goes to the doctor. Also, the doctor is around the same age as everyone else. She's more attractive than the leading lady. Anyway, she wants to give him the shot. The shot goes in the back of your head. That's why I wrote that line. I thought it was a cute line, so I wrote it down. May 15th, 2023 at 7. That's because I wrote that line down because the guy gets the self. Okay, so the guy has a best friend. The guy who gets the shot is the leading guy. Okay. And then you cut to, I'm going to tell you the whole fucking movie. He cuts to, he's having lunch with his best friend, who's the long-haired detective, who used to be a cop, but he didn't like being told what to do. So he left the force so that he could grow his hair out long and be a cool rock and roll guy. The guy is the friend has got like long luxurious hair like me, but like me, his long luxurious hair is like pretty much what we call salt and pepper. He's older like us, right? He's a cool looking guy though, and but none of his clothes fit. I'll tell you this: it's like they didn't have any costuming because they got this guy. Like obviously they gave this guy like what they thought was like cool detective clothes, like, which basically means trousers and a variety of jackets, but none of them are tailored. So he's always like walking around without belts, with pants that look like they're about to fall down. But anyway, they're having lunch, and the side effects start to kick in. The guy starts like, oh no, what's that? Even though he's telling his friend he feels like $1 million after the shot, and he's even thinking of making his old lady dinner because he feels so great. He's so enthused that she got him to get this vaccine. Then a cop shows up who used to be the chief, who is the chief of police. So he goes up to the long hair guy and he's like, "Hey, oh man, haven't seen you in a while. Your hair is so long now. You can always come back to the force because I love you." And the guy's like, "Oh, I'm not coming back to the force." He's like, "Oh, you can come back to the force anytime you want to." This guy's like, "I'm not coming back to the force." He's like, "Oh, because you could." And he's like, and he goes away. The guy's and the friend is like, "Oh man, that chief of police really is in love with you." And he's like, "Yeah, he saw me like Batman and Robin because we were like so close on the force, but I can't be on the force because I'm too cool." And it's like, that's whatever. So then the guy that got the vaccine goes home to his wife, and they have dinner, and she's so enthused that he made dinner for her that she immediately wants to do it. Okay. Oh, then he starts having concern. No, first he starts to have concerns because his blood mass number 8. He starts to notice that he's getting like nosebleeds and stuff. And then he goes to the doctor. He calls up the doctor. He says, "Oh man, I'm getting these concerns because I'm getting these nosebleeds. I start seeing freaky vision. I'm seeing in freaky vision." And the doctor's like, "Nah, don't worry about it. You're cool." And then he goes home and has dinner with the old lady, and then she's impressed and wants to do it. And you're never too old to stream your own sex tape as part of the horror movie of your dreams. They do the whole let's have sex on camera because it's one of these horror movies and it's a horror movie cliche that we're going to have sex on camera. And they show everything. He gets naked, she gets naked, but they're, they're regular people age and they're regular people, which is good. And they should be proud of themselves that they're willing to do it. And you should be proud of yourself if you're an audience member and watch it. Because unlike some of these movies where it's like, hey, look, they're these young, attractive people and they're on screen and it's like art. This is like, there's art like, oh, look, there's a beautiful painting and there's art like, like a Bukowski novel, right? This is like, behold the person, this is really like a confrontation with humanity on all its, it's strange enough when you're my age and, anything sexy, even by myself, sometimes I'm disgusted because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, don't look in a mirror. You know what I mean? God bless these people for doing it on film. And man, oh man, they do it on film. And there's all sorts of, and then it goes, oh, then I go, will horny old people on screen never get old? Then they have the lady across the street that I talked about. They have her, of course, spying on them through like Mr. Furley style through a telescope. And they have her doing all sorts of sexy jokes like, I'm going to flick my bean and I'm going to get off to this, watching these people do it. But here's the thing. Like I said, when it's like something about Mary, when Mary has that old friend, right, who's all like, I'm old, but I'm into sex too. It's funny because it's like, and they're all the friends are hanging out and it's Mary and it's her two friends that are her age. And then the old lady comes on and goes, you don't have to stop talking about sex just because I'm here, ladies. I may be old, but I'm into doing it. You know what I mean? Cock and balls. I'm old, but I'm still into eating ass or whatever. You know what I mean? It's funny because it's an old person, right? And she's clearly older than the other people in the scene, right? But like I said, this lady looks to be the exact same age as these other people, so it doesn't translate as well. But they're setting it up like all the context clues are supposed to be like you're supposed to be reading the scene that way. But you can't read the scene that way because if anything, like I said, she's more attractive than them. There's more. Bucky 4211 says, looks like all these actors are all in the same cheap horror B movies made by whatever production company this is. They make other movies? Holy, they killed again? They killed before? Oh my God. 12, detachable penis body horror, comedy dildos, and red jelly for the loss. Okay. I don't know when it was. You see, back in the day, back in like the mid 70s or whatever, whatchamacallit? You'd see like, Green Hell or like Cannibal Holocaust. You could, you'd have to, talk to 42nd Street Pete about like all the times it occurred. But there'd be this, forced male member removal was like a show don't tell, like, or tell don't show, forced male member removal was like a thing. But then somewhere along the lines, I don't know, movie standards or whatever, you couldn't do it. And then someone brought it back. I don't know if it was Eli Roth or Rob Zombie, somewhere, post Hostel or midway through Saw or somewhere in that era, you started to be able to show people getting their Johnson cut off, right? And now it seems to be a rule that every movie of this ilk has to feature a dude fully getting his Johnson cut off, and you have to show it. I can't tell you how many movies that were made post 2015 that I've seen of this variety that feature somewhere along the line a dude getting, and someone dangling it and showing it, his Johnson getting cut off. Looks like this video won't get monetized. Oh, wait, none of my videos are monetized. If you look in the description box below, you will see links to my Patreon and my PayPal. Huh? You don't have to get your Johnson cut off to support your local neighborhood CW chanter. Perchance on Patreon. How's that for a plug? That's what she said. Anyway, so they're doing it, and he starts to melt, essentially. She's like, "You're burning me." He's like, "Oh no." And then they're covered in red jelly as he starts to melt, essentially. And this is where the things start to go. The wedgie goes atomic, and she dies. He realizes he's turned into a monster. He tries to get away. The authorities are alerted by the old lady across the street, and then the game is afoot. You ever see this movie, The Incredible Melting Man? The Incredible Melting Man almost has the exact same setup in the sense that there's a guy who's exposed to something. He's like a scientist. He does something wacky with science, and then he starts to basically, as the title will tell you, melt, which essentially means that he's covered more and more in more and more red paint and flaking lame latex as he walks around in broad daylight. And then eventually they do things like simulating his arm falling off, and everywhere he goes, people are kind of like exposed to him, and as they're exposed to him, they get sick. He's like radioactive. That's essentially what this movie is from this point on. The guy just kind of melts, walks around in broad daylight, and anyone he's exposed to or is exposed to him basically experiences this sort of contagion-like thing where they die too and start to melt. Okay. Which is exactly like The Incredible Melting Man as I remember it. Okay. I don't know if it's an homage, was intended to be an homage, or if they just saw the movie and it was like parallel thing. I don't know what, but that's essentially what happens. Ladies of the 80s in the shower scenes of today, they do the classic. It's a horror movie, so a girl's got to take a shower, but they ran out of girls, so why not have an older lady take a shower? And they do. Her physique is fine, as is the physique of the woman who was featured in the sex scene, but she's a very normal looking person. She's a very human looking individual. Like I said, I don't think that they cast this movie. I don't think that they put out there advertisements for actresses. Come to our movie set and audition. And they went through a series of actresses to say, "Oh, you'd be great for the shower scene." I think they knew someone who was willing to get naked in a shower. And I bet you she was a dancer at some point in her life in Ohio. And I bet you the point at which she was a very successful dancer in Ohio was years prior to the production of this movie. I think. based on what I observed. No shade on Ohio. And I'm not talking Cleveland. This movie was made in the sticks. Anywho, eldest daughter of Zombie Goo, the woman who was initially exposed, the wife of the protagonist, comes to life. She's now like female Goo Zombie. No goth babe under 45, guaranteed you have our word on it. He goes into like a gas and sip. He goes into a liquor store and you see another woman whose hair is fantastic. She's got this like rockabilly awesome hair, but again, she's an older woman. God bless her. It's like they took one of these movies from the 80s and then the cast was like trapped where they had to make the same movie over and over again as they aged. And now we're watching it in 2023 and they're all like 50, which I guess is like a thing to say. And look, I'm 50. These women are more attractive than I am. They're exactly as attractive as I am handsome, I would say. Do you know the meaning of keep this under your hat? They don't. The long hair lounge jacket detective. There's a fashion change, and the cool guy detective hooks up with the cop, and now he's got like a red velvet smoking jacket. He still has untailored pants that look like they're gonna fall off him. A guy just exploded in the doctor's office because they go to the doctor's office to try to figure out what's going on, and they go in, and the doctor, the female doctor's freaking out. They go, why are you freaking out? And she's like, this guy just exploded, but it's a different guy. It's not the guy that they were looking for. And she tells them that the vaccine is called Alpha 21. And they want to know how many people have taken Alpha 21. It's 3 dudes. And one of the dudes is this guy's friend. Oh, the long-haired detective and the protagonist who's now melting. Everyone starts to imply that they might have that their closest in their relationship might be homosexual. But what I think it is that Renee Mastronicide joins us. You know what I think it is? I think that the writers and the writer/director, it's kind of like a Jay and Silent Bob thing. I think that they like were cool enough to know that it's a trope to say that the guy best friends are like having a bromance and everyone thinks that their bromance is so deep that they may be gay. But so they keep on like having people ask them if they're gay, but because there's no subtlety in this movie and because they're such terrible actors, you don't understand why, because at no point in time do they ever act like they're so close that they're gay. They just interact with each other completely normal. But then all of a sudden people will turn to them and be like, are you two guys gay? And it's like, and they just like go, no, we're not gay. But it's like, why would anyone think that? I have a job. Thank you, Hama. It's just not making movies. Anyway, less than Incredible Melting Man for the most part. It honestly is the movie The Incredible Melting Man, down to the fact that The Incredible Melting Man, I think because they couldn't afford to light the movie, just has The Incredible Melting Man walking around in broad daylight. The Incredible Melting Man sees 2 children playing. They see him and get scared. The Incredible Melting Man has trouble moving through brush, just like this guy does. The Incredible Melting Man at one point has his arm fall off, as this guy does. The Incredible Melting Man is being pursued by his friends who are trying to find him before the authorities find him, because they think that if they find him before the authorities find him, they can save him, just like they do in this movie. Now, here's where it gets really stupid. In the end, everyone dies. I hear you, Hama. Awesome. It's totally cool. At some point, the cop pulls a gun on the melting dude and the melting dude's wife, who they've now reunited. And the melting man says to him, "Kill me." He says to the guy, "Kill me." He realizes that he's a contagion monster, that anyone exposed to him is going to die as well. He says, "I can't stop myself. You have to kill me. It's the only way that this will end." At which point, his best friend jumps in front of him to prevent the cop from shooting him. It makes no sense. Why is he stepping on his dramatic line? Why is he stopping on his dramatic self-sacrifice? Oh, by the way, as a result of jumping in front of the incredible melting, screenwriter / leading man / I think the director, the dude dies because the incredible melting bad actor touches him, like killing him, I think. And then the cop has to like try and shoot him again or whatever, but he's not successful, because at that point the incredible melting man gets the cop too. And then the incredible melting man just wanders off, and then he gets to his house again. He crawls into his house and watches TV in order to turn on the TV. Why is he turning on the TV? Just so he can see on the TV the announcement that, oh no, oh God, what a twist. Alpha 21, the terrible vaccine that turned him and his old lady into monsters, it's just been approved. They're going to make everyone take the Alpha 21. No! If everybody takes the Alpha 21, we're all going to turn into monsters. No! And that is Side Effects May Vary. It's available on Tubi. Are you going to watch it? Are you going to watch it now? If you watch it now, you'll be able to relive every moment of this movie review. This movie review was 52 minutes and 34 seconds long, just 40 minutes shy of the actual movie itself. I don't understand how to do movie reviews. It's understandable, completely understandable, why 43 people initially turned on to this video and then said, nah. I don't have clips from the movie. I'm not just doing a voiceover. I'm not doing a kill count. But I wonder if those 43 people were tuned in long enough for me to get a view. If they do that, that'll really do nothing for me in the algorithm. Anywho. These cards are terrible. These are from 2022, though. The Dungeons and Dragons Tarot deck, it's terrible. Hope we get a good one. Some of these cards are absolutely horrendous. I'm not even getting the meanings that they give them in the book are amazing, but I swear to God that there must have been a mistake at the printing place where they put the wrong images on the wrong cards. I hope we get one that makes sense. It'll be really embarrassing if I get one that doesn't make sense. Let's go with this one. Oh, I'm just going to say that this is 3 of Cups, because it just looks like 3 of Cups. So we're just going to call it 3 of Cups. 3 of what? We're going to make it 3 of Cups. If that's not 3 of Cups, I don't know what it is. Celebration. We're having a good time. It's Friday. Have fun, but don't have too much fun. Did we have fun tonight? I think we did. I dare say I think we did. And you know what I bet? I bet they had a fun time making Side Effects May Vary. They had fun making the movie. We had fun reviewing the movie. Sometimes it can be about that. Sometimes it doesn't have to be super serial. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. It's okay sometimes to take a break together. The purpose of this video and this review is to not make fun of Side Effects May Vary, but to celebrate Side Effects May Vary. We say thank you to the producers, the writers, and the directors, and the actors and actresses of Side Effects May Vary. God bless you for putting it all out there. I urge you to watch Side Effects May Vary, available on Tubi, at least on Tubi for now, and complete the process. See what I've been talking about. And until then, just remember, I love you, I love you, I love you. If nobody told you that they loved you today, somebody just did. That somebody, CW Chanter. Hey, if we all go out and watch Side Effects May Vary, I wonder if we can get it to trend. I wonder if we can get it to go on Tubi's most popular horror movies. Wouldn't that be something to do? Think of all the people we could inadvertently trick into watching 48 to 50-year-olds getting naked. Hey. If Melania Trump had to go through it at least once, why not the rest of America? Folks, didn't mean to get it political there. Hey, they all had it coming. Hey. I guess we all had it coming, right? If karma's a thing. I love you too, babies. Till next time. Till next time. Till next time. Don't forget, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Keep the freaky love flowing. Don't forget who loves you, baby.